Hi friends, MD Vegan. I make a pea soup today. That's my 5-minute pea soup. That's one of my first recipes, my first own recipes I invented. It was fascinating when I did that. Maybe now it's 8 years ago or so when I began this channel. The 5-minute pea soup had now so many variations because you can use peas in so many ways. I mean in a soup. Yeah, you can do it with vanilla and chili. You can do it with as is, with pepper and salt and onion. You can do it with so many different ways to do it. I don't want to enumerate everything here, list up everything. 2 cups of frozen peas. Yeah, they're still frozen. And the idea of a frozen peas or the 5-minute pea soup is to blend the peas, the frozen peas, very inexpensive, very well, very easy, very inexpensive and available. Yeah, you can get them all the time. But the fresh peas, when you have them fresh, they're pretty expensive and not available all the time. At least not here where I live in Germany. but the frozen peas I have always at home. Yeah, and the trick is to have a frozen pea and to blend them with almost boiling water. This is boiling water. It has been boiling for just 4 seconds ago, so it's still very hot. It's now cooling down a little bit, and I will fill the peas into the blender and put some other ingredients on top of it to make the variations and to make it creamier. Peas are very healthy. Yeah, they are green, they have a lot of protein, they have many other ingredients from these legumes. They are very healthy for the intestine, so it's very recommended to eat these kind of vegetables every day. Some kinds of that, yeah, many kinds. Peas, beans, lentils. These kind of things are super healthy, among the healthiest we have. And I like it a lot. And to make it delicious and creamy, I add a little bit of avocado and cashew. Here I have one example to make it creamy. I have a small avocado here. And I have a small handful of cashews. I wouldn't take too many because it might be a little bit, can turn into a little bit a problem with the flavor, with the background flavor when you have many cashews here. I'm not sure, but I would caution you. Yeah, but I need both cashews and avocados. Avocados make it very creamy because they're a little bit fatty. That's very healthy too. And cashews make it a little bit creamier, like in a cream, like an actual cream, like whipped cream. That's a job of the cashews, because the avocados by itself, they would make it a little bit cloudy, not super creamy. The texture is not so fine if you have only avocados. So a little bit of cashew to balance this kind of cloudiness, when I say so, is not the perfect texture without cashews. So a little bit of cashews, but not too many, as I said, because it might turn a little bit into a strange flavor. But so, just if you want to try it, don't take too many cashews. But some I would say I would need. Otherwise, you can take maybe coconut oil or coconut cream for that. It's also a way to do it. That's up to you. So I have here a quarter of a lime. It's not a big lime, it's a quarter. And I want to take some of a lime, a little small amount of lime, because I have a Mexican pea soup here. Mexican is with avocado, lime, and cilantro. This is the big deal here. The cilantro, that's a kind of Chinese parsley, has a very strong flavor. And in Mexico, many people use cilantro on a regular basis, and they put it into with cashews and lime. I have half a bunch here. And they also put garlic in there. I have a small piece of garlic, not too much. Peas are also have a gentle flavor. They have a wonderful flavor. It's sweet a little bit. And a little avocado goes so nice together with both avocado and cilantro, and also with the lime. And also here, to this Mexican flavor belongs chili powder. I have a chili powder here. Depends on the kind of chili you have. This is a bird's eye chili. You see, I don't have that much. Yeah, it's easy to handle. It's not too hot to touch. Yeah, it doesn't burn your fingers. It is maybe a third of a teaspoon, not too much, but that depends on the kind of chili you have. Yeah, and I have a small piece of onion, just here, the very small piece. Same with the cashews, not too many. Yeah, the raw onions here, they are also good for Mexican flavors. They like the red onions, for example, but not too much. It could also have a little bit of impact on the flavor of the soup. Peas like onions. They are very nice together, but you cannot take too many raw onions in a pea soup. And of course, I have a heaping teaspoon of Himalayan salt. Yeah. Salt is very nice here as a combination here for the other flavors. It brings forth the other flavors in a nice way. That is usually the part of the salt in many recipes in the Western culture. Yeah, we use salt to enhance the other flavors. It's more like an enhancement of the other flavors. It is a different story if you have cooking completely without salt. It's a whole different world. There are nice stories about cultures that are fighting if they have to take salt or not, but that's another story. I just say the salt here has the specific function to enhance the other flavors more, to make it give it a certain character that is made by the other flavors mainly. So I would say it is a Mexican pea soup. Yeah, just to give it a nice name. And now I show you what I do with the hot water. You see, I have here the peas. They are until here. That is the peas, the amount of peas I have in the blender. And now I put the hot water a little bit on top of it, so it will be a little bit more, maybe 1 or 2 centimeters. Yeah. I tried that in many recipes, and I know this is the right amount to get a nice texture in the pea soup and to balance the frozen peas. So when you put the hot water on the frozen peas, you have a nice temperature. It mixes the hot and the cold to the perfect temperature for a nice warm soup. Yeah? Usually soups are warm. Well, not always, but you can make a warm soup with a perfect ratio between the hot water and the frozen peas. So that's what I'm doing here. Let's see if it works. I put a little bit of water in there, a little bit more. So maybe 2 centimeters above the peas. Yeah. To start, I can always add a little bit more if need be. Blender dance. Peas are pretty easy to blend. Cashews might take a little longer here. Let's see. I see the texture is a little bit too thick, too creamy. I will have to add a little bit more water, but give me a chance to check the flavor. Let's see if I need some more spices or so. Yeah, it's a little bit thick, but I can smell the peas already, the fresh green peas, the young peas. Has a nice flavor, a nice fragrance. I like it. It's still a pea soup. That's good. You don't make a pea soup. It should be a pea soup and not something else, and it is. There's the pea flavor in the foreground. But I need more water to make it runnier, that's for sure. And let's see. So I put a little bit more water, small amount, maybe a little bit more salt. Let's see. Have here Himalayan salt again. I take a little bit more of it here. Put it in my hand first, not to risk to put haphazardly by mistake too much here when I put it directly from the container here. So first I put it in the hand. Salt can be a problem if you have too much. You ruin the whole flavor. So because I have a little bit more water, I might need a little bit more water, salt. there is a important thing. Water can change the flavor a lot, dilutes it, and the salt is always in relation to the water you have. Salt and water, these are very important together. Also in the body, we need a certain amount of salt to survive because we have so much water in the body, 60-70% or so. It gets a little bit less when you're older. But the cells, they have water inside and outside, and the minerals, and so they go in and out through the cell membranes, the walls of the cells, and the salt makes it happen. So without salt, that doesn't work. So that's why salt is important. And the same idea also makes salt so important in the food. You can have salty food, I mean not too much, of course, that is unhealthy for the blood pressure and so very dangerous. But in a small amount, can be great. Make a big difference in the flavor. I think because of this very basic function in the system, in the cells. So one more blending. In general, I was pretty careful. I put only a little bit of lime because too sour pea soup, I can't imagine that a good flavor. Yeah, so a little bit of lime only, a little bit of onion only, a little bit of cashews only. So there is a lot of little bit here. That's for the peas, might be important. You should consider it. You might want to consider that if you try for yourself. So once again, try it. Now the texture is what I like to see. Yeah. So texture is not very nice. Fragrance still very nice. Pea flavor, very nice. Pretty fragrance. Let's taste it again. Absolutely. That's my soup. That's my Mexican pea soup. Yes, I show you. Very nice, very nice. Just an idea of lime. Really not too much. That wouldn't be nice for the peas. Here, look at this. You see the texture is, that's how I like it. You know, it's creamy and still runny, so it's an even texture. You see, it's perfect. The peas are so wonderful, full of protein, and that makes also the texture nicer. You blend protein, it can have this nice texture. You know, you have to try. So I will serve that soup to myself, and I put a little bit of maybe some pieces of avocado on top, maybe some tips of the cilantro herb, so to make it more beautiful, and maybe some sprinkles of maybe a coarse kind of salt with large crystals, maybe the fleur de sel it's called. So just to decorate it a little bit. You can do that on your own. It's not difficult. It swims then some of the avocado pieces, small pieces, swim on top of the avocado soup. That looks very nice. Some tips of the cilantro. They also have a nice, nice leaves that looks beautiful. I find they're different than parsley. Is a very gross, as compared to cilantro. Cilantro looks very nice. It's tender more, and then you put some salt, maybe some large crystals. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah. So, thanks for watching. I'm very happy that it worked. Yeah. Again, if you like my video, subscribe and be vegan on YouTube. Have another recipe every single day, and find me on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and Twitter.